Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome back to Runers. So, today I'm going to be playing as the Crusader Shade with Corruption. Because I'm trying to mix it up to things that I'm comfortable with, but at the same time, don't use that often. Because it's been a little while since I've played, and I would prefer to keep things, I don't know, fresh-ish? I don't know. We're almost out of new spells to discover, actually, so we're getting to the point where I will have discovered everything, and at that point, it just becomes simply, you know, what can I do to keep this game still interesting for me, interesting for you guys, interesting for, I guess, just everything. Because, well, I mean, first and foremost, things that I should probably address. I obviously have not put out an episode of Runers in a couple of weeks, actually. I guess, what, week and a half? It's because I went to San Francisco. I mentioned this in the previous episode, and, you know, trying to keep you guys appraised, but it's one of those where I get back, and unfortunately, the way my life works is, or at least sort of life, I'm extremely allergic to my house, so I get like acclimatized to it, but quickly, like, if I leave the area for more than a couple of days, I essentially go back to being completely allergic to everything, and so sneezing and stuff becomes a problem, and just time. Like, my sleep schedule is hugely irregular because I went to California, spent a fair amount of time there, you know, doing an interview, hanging out with the guys from Sad Games, you know, Sebastian SB and Andrew, and except for Sebastian SB's name isn't even Sebastian SB, it's just Keith. I don't know. I just don't know. Hey, mind room. It's kind of what I was looking for. Oop, don't want to pause. I want to make the Mind Rune into Mind Spike. Yes, I probably could have made some kind of triple combiner there, or triple combo there, but the reality of the situation is this is more than adequate. Watch out for the fireballs. This is definitely one of those very limited rooms that I prefer not to deal with, generally. Ow. Those fireballs hurt a little bit. Now, I will admit, I'm playing on Wimpy just because I haven't played this game, apart from one very short collab session. I don't know if I'm going to air it on the channel, because ultimately, the game crashed before we could get even further than, like, me just teaching them kind of how to play. This is, you know, the Sad Games guys. I just walked right into that shot. But, so, for not playing a couple of days, my brain is really set to Binding of Isaac mode. It's going to take me a little bit to get back into the Runers mode. Heck, I don't even remember what half the combos are that I'd be looking for. Which is kind of a shame, but it's not the end of the world either. And as it stands... Ow. Trunks. Yeah, Destructibles are definitely going to screw me up a little bit. And Isaac, they're huge. And I guess that's kind of the thing I'm running into here. It's that in Isaac, I'm much more aware of everything that's going on. This game, everything is small and a little bit more indistinct and hard to tell. And, of course, I'm going to continually blame the designers for having kind of an ugly game, but at the same time, oh well. But yeah, so I am the first to admit that I'm rusty. And I apologize that I had to go on such a hiatus for this. I probably could have just spaced out the episodes so you guys would have gotten, like, part of a run a day. But at the same time, I didn't have a whole lot of foresight. It was so like, hey, you want to interview with us? Yes? Okay, see you next week. And it's like, okay, that gives me, like, zero time to prepare. And for those of you wondering, did I get the job or not? Nope. They apparently flew out, like, well, not flew out, but they apparently interviewed, like, 40 people. Usually when I get interviewed, it's, like, me and 3 others, so I feel like I have a chance. But no, this is just, like, mass interviewing to the point where I didn't have a ghost of a chance. And it's kind of annoying, because I did spend a fair amount of money to get out there. But at the same time, it was a learning experience. It was kind of a nice vacation. And I got to, you know, hang out with some other guys that do the YouTube-y thing. So, I guess lesson learned and go on from there. It's like Portal Protector. I'll see if I can get some more stuff. Because at this point, I could make Prismatic Devil, but I use that way too often. And I want to see what else I can get. Oh, geez, that's a lot of swarmers. Actually, I actually have a solution for that, don't I? But, yeah, lesson learned, don't trust companies, especially for low-level QA type stuff, because they really just don't give a shit. They'll just hire anybody. Sort of. I mean, if they hired anybody, I would have been hired, but can you tell I'm salty? But, you know, threw things out of whack, definitely threw runers out of whack, and I'd like to try and continue with this. Maybe not daily. Daily was really hard to sustain, and especially if I get some level of other, slightly less than great employment, time's gonna run out. Does depend, but I'm gonna try and at least have fairly regular Runers episodes for a while yet. Up until probably the point where we figure out what the final boss is, because it can't be the alloy guy, whatever his name is. Okay, all of these are not great. Let's see. I guess I'll go with armor piercing. It's about the only one that, I don't know, has like a general passive effect. Because the, like, class synergy thing could be really interesting, could have some unique effects. However, or not unique effects, but could be used with certain spells. Positively, I think, unless they've patched it, you can also just use it to cheat cooldowns completely. But that's boring, and I did it once to about the greatest effect that I possibly could. So why do I want to do that again? So, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Man, the last time I fought the robot boss, didn't the game crash? Yeah, it did, and I was like ready and raring to beat him up too. That's really disappointing. Well, either way, let's just grab hearts and go down. Oh, right. I do have the event room to go into. Yeah, so if I do sound a little stuffed up, by the way, I apologize. I'm doing all that I can just simply to not sneeze half the time here. Alright, I want to turn this off and take them out. At least they don't have much health in this mode, and the strike through actually is helping substantially. Okay, it worked. It worked. It was close. Come on, come on. There we go. I was worried about it. We were almost not going to make it there. I'm gonna go with the cooldown reduction, but oh man, I'm glad the Templar thing teleports them away from me. And so since I was firmly planted on the firmly planted on the portal, well, save my bacon there. Yeah, we need a little bit more firepower before we are gonna be in like the super safe zone. Oh well, let's keep going down. Light levels, shock levels. Most of these are pretty pitiful. Like, I could go with shock levels sheerly because I've got one shock rune. It's not great. I'm just gonna go with a... Oh. Oh, that's nice. That's weird. Okay, so up and down don't do anything here. It's left and right that lets me switch between go to floor, save and exit. Oh man, they added it. Okay, so now I can actually end runs prematurely, which means I'm going to be able to record a heck of a lot more runers than I thought, because this lets me, you know, quick save the game. So let's go to floor 2. Ow, okay, that's going to make a huge difference for me, because that means I can leave runs incomplete, which means I can record, you know, half an hour of runers and then go off to do other things for the day, if I need to. Usually I try and keep things self-contained just because, you know, once you're on a roll, you really don't want to get off the roll, but that is a feature I am very pleased about. Okay, so we've got a bunch of rats coming after us, but the thing is, going after the hermit is meaningless, because the rats aren't the danger here. The rats are actually the least dangerous thing in the room, because I'm moving anyway, so the rats themselves aren't particularly dangerous. There we go. And yes, I'm continually repeating the word dangerous over and over and over again, but the reality of the situation is just simply not going to take too much damage here. I'm going to go with Alacrity Mastery. Wow, okay. What can I make with all these entropy runes? I got 5 of them. I mean, I could just make, Prismatic Devil, but that seems dumb. So, let's see. So this debuffs enemies so they're slower and do less damage. How much, though? I don't know. I'm going to look at this for a second. Got to unmute my mic. Yeah, I went with Chaotic Putrefaction as well as Mad Lightning, because I always want to give Mad Lightning... hit list. Let's try it. Oh, right. Hit list is not living statues. I totally forgot. Well, whatever. This just ends up being a regular room in that case, which is not the end of the world. Oh, right. I forgot Mad Lightning had such a freakishly short range. It's gonna be a problem, but it's not gonna be that big of one. Really's situation is, I'm probably just going to, I don't know, it's great for clearing groups of enemies that are close to me, which is good. It's just, well, not great apart from that. I don't know. It'll probably get replaced, because the thing is, Chaotic Putrefaction, it's not the best, but it's a nice damage over time effect that I could probably get some really nice use out of. Oh, come on. The like, magnetism, the suction, not exactly my friend. Okay, so first and foremost, I completely forgot that Mad Lightning had such a short cooldown. If it had, or not a short cooldown, it had such a short range. Jeez, English. I'm just trying to think my way through things, and unfortunately my, like, ability to word right now has just been seriously impacted by mysterious things. I don't know. But yeah, it's got such a short range that it really doesn't belong in the build I'm trying to go for here, because I'm actually thinking of trying to do, like, a serious debuff run. Of course, I've already gotten rid of, like, most of my dark runes. And, like, the thing is, Mad Lightning can quote-unquote chain forever, but that's not actually the case. It just hits, like, it goes off of every enemy once. But it doesn't do that much damage. So the reality of the situation is, it just ain't gonna fit my build. Oh well, it's not the end of the world, it just kind of is the way things go. And I've got plenty of other runes. Worst comes to worst, I make, like, Elemental Trident or something. Cause, I don't know. It's not like it hurts me that much. Like, it's great against certain types of enemies. The problem is the enemies we need to be most wary of, we don't have to deal with. Like, in this case, like, fighting a large group of enemies is actually really easy, because 90% of the time you can just kind of fire into the mass of them and take them out. Whereas it's the, like, really strong or really hard to hit enemies, or the enemies you can't get close to, that are the ones you need to fear, and are the ones that Mad Lightning does not work against, or works against, but you don't want it to work against them. Or really just utilize it against them. Because, like, here, yes, it's extremely effective. But it's, like, I would have probably been fine without. Because it's the mud golems that are scary, and they're the ones that take a lot longer to take out, too. Okay, this was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Can I raise the gamma in this game, come to think of it? I've never actually checked. Video. Nope. Nope, I can't. That's disappointing. One of the things that I've liked about Binding of Isaac Rebirth is the fact that you can boost the gamma on the game. Oh, right. Let's do a debuff. Jeez, they stole some stuff. Nope. I did the debuff, which is supposed to do a damage over a time effect to them? Oh, maybe it just curses enemies on screen. Even Chaotic Putrefaction doesn't seem to be up to snuff. Which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping that it would be kind of a reliable debuff thing. Like, it killed one of them, but it's not great. Which is kind of a shame. I wonder. I don't know. 'Cause yeah, ideally I'd like abilities that, you know, help me out here, and I know that's not an adequate way of saying things, but like, oh, if Chaotic Putrefaction doesn't do enough, like, debuff damage to actually even remotely do damage to them, or at least sufficient damage to pose a threat, because the debuff itself, all it does is reduce the bullet duration by a third, so it reduces enemies, you know, range, but that's not great either. Most of these are kind of worthless. I guess I'll go with Latent Force. At the very least, people get knocked back by my presence. And that's it for the floor, so I think at this point, oh, you know what I could do? Okay, I believe it's water, air, dark, black wind. Perfect. Let's toss that instead of Mad Lightning. I like Mad Lightning, but it just doesn't fit right now. I'll keep it in storage. Next up, creatable spells. I've got a triple combiner. So what can I make? Let's do something with 3. So, air, shock, speed. It's probably going to be the best. Shock, speed, air. Oh, right. I gotta combine it. There we go. Static arrow. Quick arrow made of lightning that does high knockback and increases the cooldown of the victim. 4 damage, short-ish cooldown. What's the range on it? I don't know. Hard to tell. Well, either way, I'm gonna get rid of Mad Lightning, and it looks like it's got Strike Through, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And yeah, Mad Lightning. I'll learn from my mistakes there, because I think Mad Lightning would work very well on maybe a melee build. It's kind of hard to tell. It would be good on a melee build initially. I think the problem is surely the enemies that I'm afraid of aren't the ones that are in large groups. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with cooldown reduction. Oh, right. Go to floor 3. It is going to be a little bit jarring that the staircase actually gives you some options here, but I'm glad that it does. That makes things a lot nicer. Like, it's nice to know that they're actually still working on this game. It's rare for developers to actually keep working on a game after it's come out. And it's one of those that I know if I ever make a game, I would hope to actually be able to just, you know, game comes out, make enough money on sales, just keep expanding the game. Maybe make some kind of expansion pack. I don't know. I would love to be able to, like, create a game and then come back a little bit later and be like, so, all that stuff that I wanted to add but couldn't, because of reasons, they're in the game now. That would be amazing. Kind of hard to tell what game I'd specifically, like, want to make, though. Like, I don't know. I want to make a roguelike someday. But that's hard. Maybe. I don't know. It's one of those, the roguelike I want to make might be too ambitious for, like, a starting project. And that, I mean, that just means that I'm gonna have to delay it. I'm just thinking about life and stuff right now, because, ooh, hit list. Well, we can try it this time. Okay. There we go. There's one. This time I'm not gonna screw it up. There we go. Where's the next one? Is this rat? And then this rat. I kind of hit. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to go for the Paratron. Perfect. Underdog, class specialization, Beast Tamer, Gravity Collapse. I'm gonna go with this one. Plus 20 armor whenever you have a static effect seems like a good idea. And then knockback. Not actually sure if those are the wisest of choices, but it's, I mean, I don't even know. It'll have to do. Some of the perks in this game are just not nearly, but, okay. Oh, I completely missed. So the thing is, we can actually kind of keep our distance from the Fireborn Voidling just because we've got enough range that I can largely just rely on our other attacks instead, which might save my bacon. The only problem is he's got a lot of health, and it's going to take me a lot of time and effort just to kill him at this range, especially because my accuracy is bad, because the farther away he is, the harder it is for me. Actually, oh geez, he can shoot through walls, can he? That is not friendly. Oh, his sword doesn't go through walls, though. So the moment that hits a, surface, I'm safe. Okay, well, realistically, Fireborn Voidling, not going to be a problem for me right now. At all, actually. Fireborn Voidling is dead. Let's just bide our time, grab the thingamabob, and get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah. Dennis the Menace references. And I should watch, like, more Game Grumps or something. Yes, it's one of those interesting things that as a YouTuber, for whatever reason, there's kind of this, like, weird assumption, or there's, like, a weird separation between myself and, you know, you guys, the audience, and yet, here I am, somebody else that watches and appreciates Let's Play content. It's always kind of an interesting thing that, you know, when I'm not doing this, when I'm not specifically on my channel, like doing channel-related things, I'm no different from anybody else. And even when I am doing this, I'm no different from anybody else to begin with. Anybody could technically be a Let's Player. It's just some people are better than others. Like, some people are natural-born performers. Some people are really good at editing. Some people are really good at video games and have extremely marketable skills. Some people are just really good at marketing, actually. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers that simply knew how to market themselves better than anybody else, and that's how they succeeded, which is insane. Or like in the case of Game Grumps, it was just purely because Ego Raptor was already famous to begin with. I mean, I could see them still drawing quite the audience, in like if they had started now without the like Ego Raptor JonTron boost. But oh, hey, that's the boss. But I imagine it'd be harder. There are a lot of YouTubers like that actually, that if it weren't for some level of like luck or good timing or just simply being on the scene first, they'd be no different from me right now. Which of course makes me super depressed, because then I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have just started years ago when I'd actually heard of, you know, Let's Playing as a thing, instead of, you know, just kind of appreciating but not actually participating. Because now that I'm doing it, I'm like, man, if I had started like 3 years ago, I would have been massive. And people ask me, like, you know, oh, geez. I'm gonna hype... Oh, God. This is, like, the shitty room. Ow. Oh, God, there's so many necroskeletons. Oh, what the... Okay, wow. I've never run into a room like this before. Well, I have, just not to that sheer extreme of a degree. Okay, Holy Crusader. Wow, that would have made a huge difference there. Oh, well, not the end of the world. And I'm still doing okay on health, so I can probably clear out this room before I need to worry about anything. Uh-oh. Okay, those are bandits, not necroskeletons. That's good. Oh, you know what? There was probably there was a rat nest in the previous room. It wasn't there. And that's why all of the necroskeletons came out, because necroskeletons are based on when a creature dies, doesn't matter where it came from. Whereas I don't think the rats that get spawned from a rat's nest give you experience. Could be wrong about that one. That'd actually be kind of an interesting thing to test out. But, either way, I don't have any speed runes. I'm kind of hoping we don't run into Blazia, because Blazia could actually do some serious harm to me. Oh, well. I wonder if my teleport ability would screw Blazia up. I don't even know if bosses are... Butts. I don't even know if bosses are specifically vulnerable to my class ability. That's an interesting question. Well, looks like she gets knocked back by stuff. So there's a distinct chance. Luckily, we are playing on a easier difficulty, so fighting Blazia might not actually be terribly difficult. It's just going to be a matter of, you know, weathering the storm, and then not getting completely smoked by the fire mage. Fire maze. There we go. And I can also just kind of rely on Black Wind from a distance to do some long-range hits to her. But I think I'm going to readjust so this entire build is particularly snipery, just because, as it stands, long range seems to be, well, I mean, it's wimpy. Usually when I do a wimpy run, my chances of success are pretty high, surely because I've kind of outpaced the game as far as, like, difficulty scaling is concerned. But at the same time, it is one of those where I still have to be wary. And it remains to be seen. It's kind of a shame, though, that I think I had one speed rune along the way here, and I've, of course, since spent it completely. So there's, you know, I don't have my usual sprint to avoid Blazia. Really wish I could move as part of this. Oh well. Interesting, she's already taken a little bit of damage. But yeah, I am really slow, especially because I'm an elf. No, I'm not an elf, I'm a shade. Well, either way, I can at least avoid some amount of damage, and I haven't taken too much. So I should be fine here. Emphasis on should be. Now this is one where you just say screw it, and you don't even deal with it. Because there's no reason for me to walk through a lengthy maze, and I can just take one simple shortcut that just reduces all damage that I take. This one, on the other hand, I have to go through, what, 3 firewalls? I'd preferably like to reduce that number down to just simply 1. Yeah, I could do that. But what I want to do... Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I still got hit, but I can actually use my, like, teleport enemies away from me ability to screw up her process, because she has to go back to where she was simply to be able to get to me. I think that's it. No event rooms, no nothing. So, Runedex, creatable spells undiscovered. Let's do fire, air, earth. Really? I've never done that one. Wow. Fire, air, earth. It's got some good bonuses too. Magma Mite. Small worm that infests the first enemy it hits causes small damage over time. If the victim dies while the worm debuff is active, the victim will create a long-lasting pool of magma in that position. The pool is hazardous to both players and enemies. Oh, interesting. Got a long-ish cooldown, but I want to see how it works. So, let's toss it on and just go with it. I've got 2 more double combiners. So, assuming that... Wow, I guess there's a little bit of healing to be had. Assuming that I'm going to go with... health or movements? I'm going to go with health. And we go down to the next floor, which will actually be part 2. Good. Right. I have to do left and right for whatever reason on this menu. Oh well. But yeah, no idea how Magma Mite is going to turn out, but it does have some interesting implications. Either way though, I'll see you guys on the next part of this run, where we will, well, test out the Magma Mite and see some other things. Let's see how it fires. It's got a much shorter range than I was expecting. Kind of hope it homes in on enemies. If it doesn't, I'm going to be disappointed. Either way though, see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.